I've made 150 or so odd videos, and half of them have gotten no views. But I've learned why, and I want to share that stuff with you.
What was the last one? D-Tron did this.
I like that one.
Okay.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of D-Tron Does It. Of course, I am D-Tron, and I does stuff. And this week, I finally got paid from YouTube. Well, that's kind of misleading. It's actually been several weeks since I got paid from YouTube. As a matter of fact, it may be a couple of months since I received my first check, but I did just receive a second check from YouTube, and I'm kind of excited to tell you about it. Now, this is not just to tell you about how much money I made, because it's not a lot. I didn't make thousands or hundreds of thousands. Heck, I didn't even make $1,000 between the two checks. But I do have a couple of tips to help you get to this point faster and skip some of the stumbles that I may have had. But in today's video, here's what I'm going to cover. I'm going to tell you exactly how much money I made, because I know that's probably why you clicked on the video. I'm going to give you 3 things that you should try to avoid when growing your YouTube channel. I'll give you 5 tips on how to make better videos so you don't have to have that learning curve that I did. I mean, because heck, I've made 150 or so odd videos, and half of them have gotten no views. But I've learned why, and I want to share that stuff with you. And lastly, I'll provide you some analytics behind some of the videos that performed well. As always, I appreciate everyone checking out the channel. If you feel so inclined, hit that like button, definitely subscribe, and share it with a friend if you got nothing else to do. All right, so we're gonna get into the money, but first let me give you a couple of pieces about myself to give you some context. So of course, my name is D-Tron, and this is my channel. I've made just over, 200 or so videos, including shorts, and I have about 2,000, little over 2,000 subscribers. Now, for me, I consider that to be like a micro monetized channel. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the actual dollars. All right, so right now we're taking a look at my analytics page for the D-Tron Does It channel. This shows you approximately how many views, watch time, subscribers that I've added, and revenue that I've made over a course of a certain time period, whatever time period I like to select. So right now you're looking at the last 28 days, and over the last 28 days, this is the amount of money that I have generated. Now, that's not necessarily what I've gotten paid. It's how much that is an estimate of what I've earned during that time. So YouTube pays out each month. There's a threshold that you can set that once your account reaches that threshold, they'll automatically send you a check. Initially, I set my threshold at $500. So I didn't want YouTube to pay me until I got to at least $500. And that's what happened. All right, so I will pop the deposits up on the screen to let you know that on my first check, I made $517, and on my second check, I made $406. The reason there's a difference between those two values is I changed the threshold after the first paycheck to go down to $400. So after it surpasses $400, they pay out at one point, and that one point ended up being $406. So between the two paychecks, I received $900 and do the math, 17 plus 6, $923. So you're looking at the screen now. I have my YouTube analytics tab up right now, so you can see that this is the numbers at a glance for my last 28 days. But if I change that to lifetime, it'll tell you that I've had a little over 416,000 views, 16,000 watch hours, just over 2,000 subscribers, and then I've made a total of $1,028. Now again, I told you that I've only brought home a little over $900. That means the rest of this is still totaling up for the next payout. So the next time that my channel gets to $400 of revenue, it'll go ahead and send out a payment to me for that revenue. YouTube has a ton of analytics. A lot of stuff that's very valuable to you when you're trying to run a monetized channel. This revenue tab gives you some really good insight into how your vehicles perform. So it gives you a breakdown, as you can see, of how much money I am earning over the course of the last 6 months. And then I can open it up to see more. And once I do that, it will give me a breakdown of how much money I've made each month and what those sources of income were. So whether it's watch page ads, this is estimated monetized playbacks. your CPM, which if you hold up here, how much advertisers pay per 1,000 times your watch page content is viewed with ads. So this is for the last 365 days. So in the last 365 days, the best CPM that I had was last September. That was getting $14 per 1,000 times my watch page content was viewed with ads. And then there's some YouTube premium numbers, which I don't receive a whole lot coming from that area. If we go back out, we can actually look at specific videos and see how much those videos have actually earned me. So if you're looking at the screen here, the video that has made the most money for me in lifetime earnings, which is not a surprise because it also has the most views on my channel, is the magnetic screen video. So this video has, let's take a look at it. It's got 40,000 views, which is a lot more than most of my videos have. I've gained 244 subscribers from this particular video. And again, an estimated revenue of about $201 for 40,000 views. Now, for a lot of people, that doesn't seem like a whole lot. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a ton of money. But the video has done the best for me because it is a content that is searched fairly often. It is something that is very specific, and I've gotten a lot of feedback about the video saying that it was a very concise review of a thing that people are interested in. All right, so this is what the top earning videos look like for me. Again, I have been monetized for a little over a year now. And again, my top video has about 40,000 views. In total, we're looking at about $1,028. So that's all for the money. If you are just starting your YouTube and you're looking for ideas, try to find a centralized theme that you can capture a certain viewership with. Again, I think it took me a while to develop a subscriber base because everyone who would come to my channel would be coming for different things, and they may not stay because I wasn't giving them a constant stream of those things. Another thing is not operating with a microphone. Okay, so I record a lot of content on my phone. As a matter of fact, most of my YouTube videos are recorded on my phone. But for a long time, I did not have a microphone that I used, and it made listening to the audio awful. And so those two pitfalls that I made really take me into the 5 tips that I want to give you for making quality YouTube videos. All of these tips are for beginners. So the first is know your audience. You got to know your audience. If you know who your audience is, know what your audience likes, know what they'll come back to view, then you can tailor the content that you make to that viewership. The second thing you can do to improve your videos is to plan your content. Know the things you want to cover. If you're doing a review of a product, have your steps written out for what you want to cover, the differences that you want to tell your audience about, the pros, the cons, all of it. Either write it out, script it, type it out, have it playing in your head, whatever the case may be. Plan this content. It helps you with the execution. You'll be able to put the video together faster, and you'll cover all of the ideas that you think are important for the viewer. Planning that content takes some of the stress out of getting in front of the camera and just talking. Tip 3, I already touched on, was something that I did not do in the very beginning, but that is get good quality sound, but also get good quality lighting. You can go out and get a ring light for fairly inexpensive. If you get a ring light, that improves automatically the picture that you are providing, if you're using a cell phone, to your viewer. Now, I also have some studio lights that allow me to cast some color in the background and also lighten up the sides of my face and really fill my space with light, but you don't need all of that. Again, a ring light is probably enough to get you good quality video footage if you're shooting in a sitting position. Having quality sound and lighting is going to improve the quality of your videos, and over time, people will come to expect high quality from you, and as you deliver, they'll continue to come back to your channel. You got to edit your videos. I know it's probably the most difficult part of starting out, especially if you don't know anything about working with editing software. But there's a lot of mobile apps that are available on your phone. Of course, there's Premiere Pro and DaVinci and Final Cut. There's a ton of softwares out there, and there's some automatic software out there as well that can help you if you just really want to be hands off on the editing process. It makes your video flow much more smoothly when it's been edited, and it also makes the viewing experience that much better. So the last and final tip that I have is optimize your videos. Inside of the YouTube platform, inside your YouTube studio, when you're posting your video, there's a lot of sections in there to fill out. Try to fill them all out. You want to provide YouTube and search engines as much information as they possibly can have to find your video. So that means getting a description. That means potentially doing a transcript of your video, which can automatically be done in a lot of editing softwares. You can add tags to your videos. There's a lot of content inside of the YouTube studio when you're posting your video to ensure that you're gonna absolutely maximize the number of search engines that can find your content and push it out to individuals. Because nowadays, you can't just sit around and hope that someone's gonna stumble on your video. You definitely wanna make sure that there's algorithms that are in place that can read all of your content and information and put it in front of viewers, because suggested videos are a huge part of getting people exposed to your content and keeping them coming back. So there you have it. That's my 5 tips for improving video quality for your YouTube videos and shortening the learning curve to getting yourself monetized. We talked about a couple of pitfalls which actually fall right in line with those 5 tips that I gave. And I also showed you a little bit about the analytics for videos that have performed well for me and how much money I made on YouTube. As always, I appreciate you guys coming along on this video. If you enjoyed it, leave me a like. Definitely subscribe to the channel, maybe even share it with a friend. And if you don't like it, I'd love to hear that feedback too, as I work to continue to improve my YouTube channel. As always, I'm D-Tron. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.